Okay, just a quick catch up with where we are. Pretty much everything's been connected. The oil lines have all been connected and checked and torqued and everything else. The engine mount's been put on properly, torqued and split pinned. The electrics have almost all been connected up. The outstanding part is the ignition. These ignition wires. There's power to the ignition units, one on each side. And what else have we got? Oh, the tacho, the impulses to the tacho. They've got to be connected. I haven't touched the carburetor yet. It has to have the fuel line connected to the fuel pump and the fuel line from the fuel pump to the carburetor. The engine-driven fuel pump, which is, I think it's off a Volkswagen or something. There it is there, in the middle here. The propeller's been put on and torqued. Well, it's put on, it hasn't been torqued yet. In the scheme of things, I next want to fill the oil system, and I need to make the dipstick for the oil tank, which I'll do that as we go in a moment. Once I've got the oil system filled, I then want to turn it over by hand. I'll take the spark plugs out, or at least one set of the spark plugs, perhaps the front ones, because they're easy to get to. And turn the just turn the engine over and over and over to build up oil pressure if I can, and fill the system, because the system's supposedly dry right now. So that's this afternoon's effort. I still haven't tensioned the cables. I don't know whether you can see down the back there on the horizontal stabiliser. The cables are sitting on in place, but they haven't been torqued up yet. But everything else is been done. I'll run the cables from the carburetor to the controls maybe this afternoon, but pretty soon anyway. Once I've got the engine with its oil in it and what have you, I will do a tracking check on the prop. That just means that both prop blades are running in the same orbit, if you like. If they're not, I can correct that at this point, just simply by torquing some of the nuts more than the others, or some of the bolts more than the others. So anyway, that's the game plan. So let's kick off with filling the oil tank and calibrating the dipstick. This is the oil I've decided to run, in the engine. It's basically a semi-synthetic 10W50 with the modifiers and so on in it. It cost less than the house, but only just. It's quite expensive. Oh yeah, this will be interesting. There we go. And it's child-proof, that's a bad thing. Oh, right. Okay, dokie. We've got a built-in funnel and everything, wow. Okay, I've got my trusty jug, measured in mils up to 1 litre. Let's see how we go. I didn't shake the bottle, which might have been a good thing. I've found that if oils have got super duper additives in it, you really want to get all of those additives into your engine, not laying in the bottom of the bottle somewhere, or the bottom of the container. I don't know if that helps or not, but it sure can't hurt. What the hell am I doing here? Oh my god, they're cups. Okay, that made it a bit tricky dicky. Try that. That's just under 900 mils. 900, 950. One litre. Fabulous. I've also got my magic funnel, very short funnel that pops up. I'll go around the other side and pour this in, so I'm not in your way. Okay, doesn't want to go in quickly, fair enough. Yeah. All right. This is the my dipstick for the oil tank. Let's see if we can see a litre on there yet. Oh, there you go. Well, a litre's about an inch up off the bottom, so that's not too bad. Righto. There's our dipstick with our 1 litre mark on that I've just cut with a hacksaw. Try not to get oil all over the place this time. There's 2 litres. Okay, here we go for the 4th. 1, 2, 3. This is the 4th litre. It's the 4th litre there. They seem to work pretty well now. They're fairly consistent distance apart on the... Okay, well I guess it's that time of the... Well actually it's not, it's time to have a bit of a catch up on where we are, because we're moving ahead reasonably quickly on the fuselage. I don't want to sort of leave too much behind. So let's, well I'll tell you what, let's start at the back of the aeroplane and work our way forward. All right, there's been a fair bit of work going on down this end of the run. The cables are all installed, tensioned. The nylock nuts have been installed on the bolts. What I haven't done is I haven't lock wired the turnbuckles. I've chosen to put 4 turnbuckles on this aeroplane. The kit comes with 2. One for the front row of cables and one for the back row, which are normally installed underneath. Then you make the cables as accurately as you can. You've got a little bit of room to move if they're not quite right. You can stack washers under these tangs to stack it out a little bit, which will lengthen the cable and put maybe a longer bolt or whatever. You can take the cable and turn it a couple of turns, which will shorten it up if it's too long. So you've got some room to move. They took a bit more time than I expected, really. But they turned out pretty good. They're pretty good right now. Let's have a look at the rudder. The pivot bolts are in the rudder and the elevator. They've been installed. The correct nuts are installed. The split pins have been installed. So they're all good. They're ready to go. Same with the cables. The cables have been connected. You can't even see the cables. What are you talking about? Down there somewhere. Get my little... That's probably better. Look at that. Yeah, the cables have been installed. The only thing really remaining there these need to be lock wired. I just drill a hole in the screw part and lock wire them. That's what I've done on the other aeroplanes. The other aeroplanes are the same as this. Once you get a theme that works, you tend to stick with it. Yeah, so that's another job, another outstanding job. I haven't set the travel. The rudder travel appears to be about right, but I haven't actually tried to measure it and set it. It's set with these screws here. There's a couple of bolts there, 1032 bolts, and you just put some more washers or less washers or whatever, and the bolt is the actual stop against this rudder horn. Yeah, but I just haven't done that yet. They're little jobs, but they're going to take time. There's the trim tab. Can you see? You can. Look at that. The trim tab's been connected properly. It's been pinned, and the split pins in. These bolts have been changed to nylock, or the nuts have been changed to nylock and longer bolts. So the trim tab cable is set properly. So that's all good. And I I guess it'll have a range of travel as well, but it seems to be pretty good. There's the sort of range we're looking at there, but I can try and measure it and make sure that it's correct. While we're still on the back end here, I've installed you're not going to see too much. I've installed the fairings underneath the horizontal stabiliser, so it's horizontal stabiliser to fuselage fairings. They're installed. No big deal there, that they'll stay installed now. There's no real reason to take them off. The only, you can't even see that either. Oh my goodness. I tell you what, I'm really good at this video business. The only reason those fairings are off, the top ones, the upper fairings, is so that I can gain access to that elevator pushrod tube, or more precisely the bolt that goes through the end of it. We'll see if I can bring you in there. That bolt, yeah, it's pretty poor, isn't it? But that bolt there should have a nylock nut on it, and I've got the nylock nut. I could install it, but the length of that tube determines where your control column goes. I need to sit in the aeroplane and make sure that with the elevators in the neutral position, that the stick is where I want it. The actual control column needs to be you can't fly the aeroplane if you've got to reach all the way almost, past the instrument panel to hold the stick. And so I may need to adjust this push rod once I hop in the aeroplane and test it. I probably won't, but I may. Control push rods are not like turnbuckles. You can't turn it and it gets longer and turn it the other way and it gets shorter. It doesn't do that. They don't work that way. They're deliberately made so that you have to actually disconnect one end and screw that eye end or the other eye end in or out to lengthen or shorten the tube. But they're not a turnbuckle. They don't have a one end left-hand thread and the other end right-hand thread, and you just turn it and they'll shorten up. No, it doesn't work that way. So this is where I intend doing it, simply because the forward end is more difficult to get at. This is fairly easy to access. The actual stops, the elevator, I've measured the elevator travel, and it actually travels further than it's necessary. Yeah, it's further than necessary. It actually, I think, I think it was about 25 degrees up and 25 degrees down, something like that. And so a total of 50 degrees, and this does that range of travel. Yeah, the stops, I can show you one of the stops. Well, let's go around here where there might be a little bit more light. This is the elevator down stop, this bolt right here, which you can barely see. We'll try and move you around the side. That one. Yeah, this stop, that's the stop. It can be adjusted. It's not set yet, so it can be adjusted. So you get a little bit more travel or a little bit less travel. The opposite stop, the up stop, up here, is not down the back here. It's in behind the pilot's. Just barely. I'll get some light happening down there. You may be able to see better. Right. If I move the stick here, you may be able to see that big white push rod right there that's lit up. It's moving backwards and forwards. Well, it's the upstop of the elevator is this bolt right here on the end of the control column. That bolt contacts a stop here, so that's the stop. Yeah, can't go any further. Can you see right here what I'm talking about? Just barely. It's just barely in frame. So yes, that can be. So you've got an upstop down the other end of the at the elevator horn. You've got the downstop, and the length of the push rod determines where the control column sits, whether it's, you know, within a nice easy reach or not. While we're up this end, we can have a bit of a look. There's the trim handle. This is about the neutral position where it is. I need to mark this, and there will be some sort of an arrangement that'll go over that'll be marked up. And you've got elevator up trim, which is full back, the same as pulling the stick back, and a forward trim, which is the same as pushing the stick forward. Probably won't use that. Probably won't really be. Neutral and up is about all I use on the other aeroplane, and it's, matter of fact, for landing it's right back as far as it'll go. And both other aeroplanes, as a matter of fact, they're both similar to this. So I don't expect to use from about there forward. I think that's just a waste of space. So, but I will be using from here back, definitely. You never know. We'll find out when we fly it. That's the whole idea. The instrument panel's not sitting in properly at the moment. It's just sitting there. So yeah, if you happen to notice, it was. I'll zoom you out a bit so you're not going cross-eyed. But yeah, I just simply haven't put it back in yet. I had it out for painting, and I haven't put it back in properly. The forward one's in. That wasn't in last time you saw it. I've still got to connect the intercom jacks or sockets for the jacks. The windscreen's on. And actually, whoopsie, this is just getting better and better. The windscreen is on, and I think it actually looks pretty reasonable. Not much of a view of it there, but the surround came out pretty good. I made that, which. Now that's saying something. You know, I don't do fiberglass, welding and painting. None of those three things. But I actually did that one, and I'm fairly proud of myself. Now, up this end, I know you've all been waiting to see this. What have we done? Okay, I think this was from the last video. The engine mount is in and torqued and split pinned, so the engine is on, not coming back off again. well, with any luck. The alternator's been connected up. Yeah, it should function. The only outstanding thing here is the ignition units. I just simply haven't wired them yet. There's basically a positive, a negative, and a pulse for the tacho. Otherwise, that's pretty good. The fuel system. I haven't run the fuel line from the fuel pump, from the gascolator to the fuel pump, nor from the fuel pump to the carburettor. I simply have not run those lines yet. They will be in the next few days, but not right now. And I haven't connected the control cables to the carburettor yet. Well, they're connected to the carburettor, but they're not connected to the aeroplane. But there you go. That's what it looks like. I just installed the propeller a few minutes ago, and I actually did the tracking. Airplane propeller tracking's not rocket science. It's not that difficult. I'll get you down here to where you might be able to see what's going on. What I did was I put the propeller on and I torqued the propeller bolts to 100 inch-pounds. The 516 bolts, their torque is meant to be 100 inch-pounds to 150 inch-pounds. I don't know what the hell that is in Newton meters. We could have a look at the torque wrench, but if we're talking, let's just stay with the inch-pounds. So I torqued them all up to about 100 inch-pounds, and I did that, diagonally and all the rest, worked my way around. I didn't do one and then the next. No, I did them opposite. And then I checked the tracking. All right, and I think the tracking's pretty broad. I think it's meant to be something like plus or minus an eighth of an inch. I brought the propeller down and I put an object, which just happens to be my stand, very, very close but not quite touching. Then I turned the propeller in the direction of rotation. I haven't got the spark plugs in right now, so it turns freely. I've got chocks in, so the aeroplane doesn't move around too much. And I checked the other blade. They were probably within an eighth of an inch of each other, maybe slightly more. Let's say it was this particular blade here, which you can't see. Doesn't matter, choose a blade. Let's say it was this blade. That was a little bit too far forward. I then I set the torque wrench to 120 inch-pounds and did the 3 bolts adjacent to that blade. And I checked again, and guess what? It was absolutely spot on. Yeah, so this particular propeller is now tracking beautifully. It's a good idea. It takes you 10 minutes to check your prop, especially a wooden one. And I'll check it again after engine running before flight. But that's what it looks like. That's how I did it. No big deal. Get my little stand out of the way, and I'll bring it around. This is the brand of propeller. Where are we? Yeah, Aero Performance propellers. This guy's in New Zealand. nice guy. He's an RV builder as well, so he knows aeroplanes. He's a pilot himself. The propeller hopefully won't prove to be too coarse. It's likely to be. It's a 76-inch propeller, which means that that's the diameter of the propeller, 76 inches, so it's big. It's big propeller. Ground clearance, yeah, may be a problem. May be a problem. When the aeroplane's in flight attitude, there's not a whole lot of ground. You can't see how much ground clearance there is anyway, but there's not 350 millimetres of ground clearance. Can you see that? Not very well. How about that? Yeah, 350 mil. In horizontal flight, there's not much. There's probably about less than 200, and that's not very good. That's not really considered sufficient. So the wheelie landings might not be on the agenda, especially in the early days anyway. Okay, so that's fairly much where we're up to. We are still recording. Oh, I know what we didn't have a look at while we were looking in that. We'll call this the battery bay, huh? Down. Yeah, I can't see what I'm looking at. But anyway, there's a brand new battery in there that turned up this morning. So what we can do, I'll assume you can see the instruments. We can put the power on. Oh my God. Yeah, you've probably seen the instruments fired up before. Here's the oil pressure gauge over here, and if I can find the starter button, we can actually rotate the engine. You may see the oil pressure coming up, hopefully. Yep, it was up to about 10 psi, which is fine for just operating off the starter motor. But anyway, that's where we are. We'll continue tomorrow, do something else. Put the seat belts in. We'll start getting it further and further advanced. But yeah, it's been a big couple of days. We're doing well. Just to complete what we started about the propeller earlier, this 76 here is the diameter of the propeller, and we didn't discuss this bit over this side. There's a 52 written over here. 52 is the theoretical distance the engine will move forward in one complete revolution of the propeller. So 76 diameter, 52 inches forward in one complete revolution. Now it's not going to do that. That's a theoretical number. It'll do somewhere less than that. But that's what that number means. Okay, it's really quite a coarse pitch. I may even have to change the propeller and go for a smaller pitch. But let's see how it flies and what it behaves like. Might not be very good for climbing, might be okay for cruising. No idea. Let's see how it goes. The previous aeroplane this propeller came off, this is not a new propeller. I bought this one second hand. It came off a small biplane very similar to the Renegade, and it was exactly spot on for that engine aeroplane combination. So if it worked for them, hopefully it'll work for me. So to stand by on that one. I'm going to go ahead and safety wire these bolts, just purely because I can. Whether I do them in pairs, maybe this pair, that pair, and this pair right across the middle. Maybe I'll do it that way, or this one and the pairs. If I do that pair and that pair, you're going to have weight of the lock wire over this side and very little over this side, so it's not going to be very balanced. I'll see what I can do, and I'll show you afterwards. Okay, there we are. These two lock wired together. These two lock wired together, and the two in the middle lock wired together. If you trace them around, they won't allow the bolt to loosen without tightening the lock wire. Yep, everything's good. About your accepted, whatever it is, 7 turns to the inch or whatever it happens to be. They're all about right anyway. I don't remember what it's meant to be, but let's call it 7 for the hell of it. There's another job out of the way. Well, that might do us for this video. I had something else on yesterday, so I didn't achieve very much. So what I did achieve is that not to bring the video out when I normally do on a Friday night my time. So the best I can do is bring it out on a Saturday night, but it doesn't matter. The information will still be there. I don't remember what I've done since the last video. It wasn't much anyway. I've run the fuel lines. I don't know if I can't really show you, I suppose. Let's have a look. We'll have a look here. Of course, you can't see the fuel lines from here. I've tidied up the electrical system a little bit. I've still got to put clamps and tie the wires up and get everything where they need to be. Obviously, I still have to connect up the ignition wires. I connected up the... No, I haven't. I connected up the other earth point. This is power supply here, and the other one's, or this one, and that's it. The other one's the taco, but yeah, it's progressing. I've had to order some more heat sleeve, fire sleeve for the fuel lines. I've made the fuel lines, but I haven't put the heat sleeve on, so therefore I haven't put the lines on properly yet. They're just sitting in there. But no, it's advancing. I never got to lock wire the turnbuckles. Turnbuckles are set down here somewhere. Their length is determined and they're adjusted to the right point and everything else. They just need to be lock wired up, and that'll be as soon as I possibly can. Otherwise it's almost time to put the fuselage away and paint these two wings. The paint shop's had a bit of a disaster and caved in on one end, but all it's got to do is work its way through two more wings. Oh yeah, not really showing up very well, but there it is there. Yeah, there's the $130 paint booth. It's worked a treat. It really has worked a treat, but it'll come down pretty soon. This fuselage will go into the other hangar, and my RV can come back here if I want to. But everything will be painted then, so that'll work. I ran the the throttle and choke cables. Not sure you can see. They're there at the bottom of the screen, just above this bit. This is them running here. I've run them, but I haven't terminated them. That's another job for next week. But anyway, that's it for the update. You know the rules. Get your feet off the ground if you can, and have a great weekend, or what's left of it. And I'll be back again next week. Okay, bye now.